Hey guys, what's up? So after doing my last video on D-Race, someone told me you can't really do a video on D-Race without talking about ZedRun. So that's what we're going to talk about, ZedRun.
From a decentralized location, this is the Crypto Effect.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Crypto Effect. For those of you who aren't heavily invested in NFTs or blockchain gaming, ZedRun is basically both of those. Now, they don't have their own crypto token, but they do have NFTs, and they are pretty much a gambling gaming platform. So much like D-Race, which D-Race takes a little bit different approach to this. ZedRun offers online horse racing and breeding, which is a pretty cool utility that you can use. You basically accumulate the NFT, which are individual horses. Now the horses are based on different types of scaling, which gives it an advantage maybe over other horses. And there's basically 4 different breeds, and we can get into that here in a second. But basically you acquire the NFTs, and that allows you to enter the race or enter events and races on the platform for real money. So it's essentially a gambling platform. And they also offer what's called breeding, which both of those D-Race will also be doing. But it's a little bit different approach. It's blockchain based, and you have to go and purchase your NFT off of their platform. So you go and buy it from, let's say, like an NFT. I think right now they're only on OpenSea. But you can also trade your individual NFT horses for other horses, or if you just want to buy it off somebody, if you can trust somebody enough, you can go into the Discord and buy your own NFT horse from there. So once you've acquired the NFT, ranging from all different prices, the prices are going to be depending on the rarity of the horse, and like we were talking about, there's basically a lot of different areas you can get in to determine the valid, how valid or the validity of the horse and what makes it a good horse racing NFT. And that's how you can determine whether or not you're going to be, winning any money. So from here, on their platform, you can go to ZedRun.gen or ZedRun / actually, it's not even Genesis. It's just Zed.run. And you can sign up for their platform, and then from there you've kind of built your own stable. You can name your stable for whatever you want it, and the stable is basically your collection of the horses that you purchase or the horses that you breed. And then once you've acquired your horse, again, you can immediately jump over to the racing side, go to events, and jump right in. And the events are usually based on a different class system, class 1 through 5, with class 1 being the highest rated horses and class 5 being the lowest rated horses. And that's all going to depend on how good of a horse did you get. Now our horses range in price. If you go up to OpenSea, you can see on ZedRun's OpenSea platform, I think I went to the cheapest ones a second ago, and one of the cheapest horses was $130. So and that was what's called a Buterin horse. Buterin is their lowest class horse. And then you can go into the different properties. They actually have 5 different properties here. They've got Buterin for bloodline, a breed type of exclusive, coat color. That's not really dependent on the value of the horse. Technically, there's a little bit of value there, but gender, colt, or there's another name for female. So they have male and female horses, and then a genotype, where it ranks in the scale of its mother and father when it was bred. So the lower the genotype from Z1 up to, I believe, Z 256. So Z36 means it's pretty low on the scale as far as its breeding, which also adds value to ability for the NFT to win races. But from there, you can go and jump in immediately into an event. When you probably purchase a horse, especially one of the cheaper horses, which again was about $150, you'll probably start off as a class 5. And each time you race, you get points on whether you come into a certain stat. I think it's like if you win first place, you get 4 points. And then, and then as you increase points, your class will lower. So you enter class 4, class 3, class 2, and then class 1. But you've got to fall into a scale of these different class systems in order to race. And then there's an entry fee, for the lower classes here, like a class 4 entry fee is $2.40, and the prize pool is around $25. So, and that's a pretty low class. There's a class 5 here. You can see the price is about the same, but the prize pools do increase. I've seen prize pools up to around $2,000 for a class 1 race. So you could potentially win a large percent of the money. So basically, if you did get first place, even then, you get 60% of the prize pool. So you don't get the entire prize pool, but you get a good chunk of it. And then second place and third place and so on get the smaller amount. But this is a little bit of a pay-to-play platform. The better the horse you can buy, obviously, the better your chances of winning are. Also, if you have a really high level horse, you can get a bit of money for breeding it. So you can actually breed your horses. The better your genotype is, the better your bloodline is, the more value you will get for breeding. So if you go over to breeding, you can see that there's different stud fees. And the way that the stud fee works is that if you have a male horse, you're basically the stud or the stallion, and you can put your horse up and say, like, I want this much money for you to provide me with a female horse, and the person who owns the female horse gets to keep that NFT that was bred, and the male horse just goes home with the NFT. So, and there's potential there that you could actually breed a legendary horse or a high geno horse that's worth a lot of money. So where you're putting up a horse for $90, the person who put up the female horse could get a legendary horse that's worth probably thousands of dollars. So if you go and browse the OpenSea forum, these horses range in all different kinds of prices. I did a price low to high here. The lowest one up for sale right now is $138. And before we jump into that, we'll go through the classes just so you can understand a little bit of what I'm talking about. There's basically 4 bloodlines. Nakamoto, the dark colors being the highest valued. The Nakamotos are the rarest at a 91 and 95% bloodline. Obviously, you can see the availability of it's very low. Bloodline is pretty scarce. The Sasabo, which is a white horse, has an 82 to 84%. Also very rare. You do see a lot of Finnies and Buterins out there. Those are genotypes of 72 to 75%, and Buterins are 58 to 65. Now, Buterins are just everywhere on OpenSea, and those are the ones that cost about $100 and something. But because their bloodline is common, they are going to be the most common horse, and the genotypes go from Z1 to Z268. And the way that the genotypes work is that if you get a Z1 horse, that means it's the first of its generation. Now, the only people who are probably still going to be able to get those are people who invested into the platform really early, or if you buy it off someone, which they're probably going to sell it at a really high rate, because the Geno does offer an increase in its ability to win. So if you took a Z1 genotype and another Z1 genotype and you bred them together, that turns into a Z2. So you get the bred horse would be a Z2 geno, and that's how the bloodline or the genotypes work on raking up. So if you get a 268, that means you've got 2 horses that have been bred like max number of times. You're getting a really like way down the line bloodline, especially if it's a Buterin, right, which is a common. So you kind of really have to go onto ZedRun's platform and research how the ranking system works to determine what your plausibility of actually winning on this platform is. Which, it's not a bad thing, but you do want to do your research before really getting in and just jumping in and buying a horse. You'll notice if you look at also on the OpenSea, a lot of the horses, they look the same. So, one of the things that I'm most disappointed about on this platform is that there's not a lot of variability with the NFT horses. There's literally like thousands of them, I think, up for sale. And so, unless you just get something really rare, reselling your horse isn't going to be probably your best bet as far as making money. It's really going to come down to entering in races and hoping you win, and breeding the horse if you have a male horse. Because if you have a female horse, the chances is that you're basically going to get the bred horse, and it may be good, it may be bad. It just depends on the horse that you bred it with. So, it's a very cool platform if you're into horse racing, if you're into NFTs, and you don't mind a little bit of gambling. Maybe it's just for fun. Maybe you're trying to make some money at it. This really is a pretty cool platform. I'm still really excited about D-Race. I want D-Race to come out so bad. It's going to look a lot different. The system that they're bringing is going to be a lot different than what ZedRun's offering. But, that not everyone necessarily needs that, and a lot of people just like the gaming aspect of it, and the probability of you making money here is still pretty good. You could put up $200 or $300, $400, $500 for a couple NFTs, put them in these races for $10 entry fees, come out with $100. You do that a few thousand times, and there you go, you made some money, right? So I was actually looking at, you can go and look at some of the horses that I've been in the runnings here, and you can actually look at like how many races they've won, what their win per average is, things like that. And if that person wants to sell the horse, you could probably get it from them. So that's another way of kind of doing your homework and making sure that you do get a higher chance of winning horse to actually run and win. Another cool feature of this platform is there's a lot of races going on all at the same time, so it's hard to keep up. But if you see one that's like worth a lot of money or something, like this one's got a $500. Obviously, this is going to be a pretty big race. I want to see the next to run. So if I'll jump over and let's just look at like a lower class. Let's look at some of the big guys running here. Class 1 horses, right? And so if there's a flame next to a horse, that means the probability of them winning is really high. So it's it's a Nakamoto, obviously. So it's really rare bloodline. You can see how much money, the prize money that the horse has won. You can look at the percentage of their winnings. They've placed 23% of the time overall, and you can look at the last 5 and the class it is. And then you can go into the details. This is where I actually saw the horse. You can go in the details and get a good look at what makes this horse just this high probability winning. Although 4% is not really that great. They just made, I don't know, 69 races. It seems all right. You would think it being a Nakamoto it would win more, but you can see how many offspring they've got. You can do so many a month, depending on whether it's a male or female. If you've got a male, you can breed it more. If you got a female, you can only do it once a month. I think if you got a male, you can do it 3. So that's breeding your horses every month. That's another way of just making extra money. So you can probably very easily get your money back out of the NFT at the very least. But again, like what's really cool is just to be able to go in and you can do what's called watch 3D. And the tracks, I wish they would do something with the tracks. The tracks are a little bit boring. That one's not started yet. So let's jump out of that. Whoops. Let's go back to racing events. I wonder if I can just jump into one here. Next to run. Let's jump into this one. So yeah, you can see, you can jump into a race and you can actually pan around, but you can see the horses, actually racing. But the racetrack's obviously very futuristic. It's in this like futuristic city. They show how far they've gone so far, and then how far they have to go, and how much time. Obviously, that race is over. They do a replay, and you can see, the horse that came in first, second, and third. and then what the winning horse, what it was, and all the different types that it was. So if you did your homework, and you really put some time into the NFT you want to purchase, what are the more probable winners, which one are going to bred the best, things like that, you could really, turn your money around with this platform. But you have to do the homework. You can't just willy nilly go out and buy an NFT and just put it in the races. So you really do have to look at what makes ZedRun's horses actually winners. So if I did price high to low, they had some up here that were just, yeah, to see these ridiculous billions of dollars. Like no one's going to pay billions of dollars, right? But you can get down here. You can do like bloodline. So the Nakamoto was one of the rarest breeds, and then you want to look at like breed type. There's legendary and Genesis. Genesis is a group of 33,000 NFTs that were part of the launch, and there will be no more existence. It's just those 33,000, and then that's it. You can either buy it off somebody or hope to find some somewhere. But the easiest way to really learn is that if you go to ZedRun's webpage, there's a learn section here, and then getting started. But from here, you can get in and take a look at basically everything from buying and selling, which really buying is going to OpenSea. And then you want to look at their DNA profile. So again, what we talked about before, bloodline and genotype being the two most important factors here. So you want to, if you're really wanting to buy an NFT to race and win often, bloodline and genotype are going to be your best bet. So as long as you can get those pretty low, your probability will go up quite a bit up. If you just want to breed, which takes anywhere between 3, 5, and 7 days to breed one NFT per horse, that's going to be pretty much the same thing. So if you want to own the NFT, you want a female horse. If you want the stud fee, which is just the fee you get paid for putting your horse up for breeding, then you want the male horse or the colt or stallion. And then you can look at like progression. This is what we were talking about, class progression. This was, if you win first place, you get 4 points. Second place, 3. Third, 2. Fourth, 1. And then anything after that is 0, all the way to losing points, which then drops your class. So you could, if you made it to like class 3, but then you started losing a bunch of races, your class you'd actually drop back down into a lower class level, which is less money, probably going up against horses that aren't quite as good. So it is better to be, if you're a racer, it is better to be in the higher class systems. I forgot there was, yeah. All right, so when it comes to breeding, you're looking at the DNA profile, and there's the bloodline, the genotype, the breed type, and the coat color. Coat color seems more like some sort of rarity item that doesn't really offer anything as far as racing goes, but it makes the NFT just more valuable from an appearance perspective. But in the bloodline, again, you've got the Nakamoto, Sazabo, Finney, and Buterin. So if a Nakamoto and Nakamoto are breeded together, you get a Nakamoto. But if a Nakamoto and Sazabo are breeded together, you get a Sazabo. And this just kind of shows you how a bloodline would be done, after breeding your horse or trying to, create another one. Genotype, this is the Z level, the rarity of it. If you bred a Z12 and a Z12, you're going to get a Z24. So you want the horse to be lower because that also offers its rarity as far as where it is in the spectrum. And then the breed type, which is probably one of the more complicated hierarchies, is the hierarchy of the breed. So a Genesis, again, we were talking about the Genesis being, something that's the most rare of all of the NFTs. You cannot get them anymore unless they're purchased directly off somebody who already owns it or is selling it on OpenSea. So if you were to breed a female Genesis with a male Genesis, you get a legendary horse. You cannot breed another Genesis. If you breed a Genesis and legendary, you get an exclusive. And if you breed, a Genesis and an exclusive and elite, and a Genesis and elite, like a cross, so on and so forth. If you breed a legendary and exclusive, you get an exclusive. So, there's just really a lot you've got to dive into as far as when you're picking your horse to race. And the better the horse that you can get, you may be able to find a steal, get just an absolute legendary horse for, $400 or $500. I'd call that a steal at the prices that I saw on OpenSea. And then you're entering races of $100 or more, and you're probably winning them often. So you could be paying off your NFT pretty quickly. And full disclosure, although I'm looking at purchasing some of this and playing this, I have not done it yet. I've just been doing a lot of research into the different styles and all the different ways that you can make money off the NFT and the blockchains. So again, racing, breeding, and selling your horse just independently are basically three of the ways that you can earn from them. Overall, this is really a really interesting way of utilizing gambling and blockchain gaming. I don't see anything really super bad about it. Of course, I haven't used the platform yet, so I don't know how much am I losing. How often am I losing? Because if you do lose often, you're entering these contests and you're literally getting nothing back. And you saw the entry fees; they range from $2 up to 20 something dollars. There was a couple I saw that was like a $150 entry fee, but I think the prize money was a couple grand. So and I think you can win up to like fourth or fifth place. Anything lower than that, you don't really get your money back out of it. So you could just be putting up money constantly and then losing it. So it has to be something you either really take serious and you're wanting to earn, or you just like the NFTs. You like the gambling aspect. It's a roll of the dice. It's fun to play. It's fun. It's somewhat fun to watch. Although I will say I did watch 4 or 5 of them. They did get kind of boring. But they are offering, they are upgrading the platform. So they're going to be offering a lot more aspects to the racehorses that allow you to race it more or build up, more stamina. So there's a lot of different things that are coming down the pipe that I think will make it more interesting. But I'm still pretty excited about D-Race, but this is another really cool option. It does say beta, so who knows? This could be a pretty big deal in the future, but so far, I think they've done a good job. I really like it. So if it's something that you'd be interested in it, it seems like a really fun way to just earn some passive income on the side. Guys, I hope you liked the video. If you have any comments, leave it below. Talk to y'all later.